Welcome to Wine Soundtrack International. Listen to the passion with which producers narrate their winery and their world. In 30 answers, discover their stories, personalities, and passions.
Hello friends and listeners of Wine Soundtrack, this is Andreas Hurst, and today I am sitting with Marta Casas from Pare, Balta. Hello Marta.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, and you?
Fine.
That's brilliant. Can you tell us a little bit about Pare, Balta?
This is a family winery where all the family is involved, and most important thing is that two women, we are the winemakers, and we are the wives of the two brothers from the family.
Right. And where exactly are you located?
We are south of Barcelona, 50 kilometers south, in the region of Penedès appellation, and we are located in 5 vineyards from the Macizo del Garraf, that's a little hill in front of the beach, and then to the north with the mountains that we have in Pontons.
How many acres of land do you have?
We have in total 200 hectares with all the 5 states.
Right, so for all those that don't know, the 1 acre is 0.4 hectares, okay? How many cases of wine do you produce per year?
In total, with cava, the sparkling wine, red and white wines, we produce 800,000 bottles. So in cases, perhaps it's 150,000 cases of 6 bottles.
And you produce all types of wines? You just said whites, rosés, reds, cava. Any other type of wine that you produce?
When we can, if the wild board let us, we make the dessert wine, the sweet wine, and sometimes we can do it.
And what are your main markets?
The most important market is Canada, USA, and Finland. But then we are in more than 40 countries all around the world.
Yeah, so you're on every continent, and you're everywhere, which is lovely. What was your first memory related to wine?
It was with my childhood when my grandfather made the wine in bulk, but I was very, very little when he stopped the little winery in his house, and for this reason I didn't remember. And when I met my husband, he showed me the winery, Pare, Balta winery, and with the smelling, when I entered there, I thought, wow, I was in the wine world, but I didn't know it. So it was very quick remember when I said, wow, my grandfather made wine, and now I'm just here making wine as well. So
it's fantastic how aromas bring you back all those years, isn't it? Brilliant. What was your first or most memorable wine that you drank, and what was the occasion?
It was when I traveled to Australia in a short trip with the family, when my sister-in-law started to study winemaker, and it was in Margaret River, drinking Leeuwen Estate Chardonnay and then a Cabernet Sauvignon in Cullen State, both in Margaret River, when I said, wow, this world is fantastic. I don't know what I'm smelling, what I'm drinking. I don't know what's Chardonnay, what's Cabernet Sauvignon. For me, it was like a Chinese language. But it was the moment of my life that I thought that it was a point to change, and now I'm here. So it's great.
And hopefully for many, many more years as well. You just talked about Australia, but you've probably travelled a lot around the world. Which is the best foreign wine you've ever drunk, and which is the worst?
I remember in Burgundy when we visit a little tiny cellar that's called Ramonet. It was a Chardonnay that was aging in little barrels, and the sample that he gave us was incredible, and I was surprised with this Chardonnay. And the worst, I don't remember the brand. It was in a fair, in a wine fair. I think it was an Austrian winery, but I don't remember. all the wines were with a lot of volatile acidity, with bread, a lot of faults that, wow, for me was...
Quite funky.
Yes, quite funky, yes. But I don't remember the cellar.
Right. Amongst all the populations, the places you visited, who do you think drinks the best in terms of quality?
Yes, Nordic countries like Finland, Sweden, they don't have vineyards because it's impossible to grow the plants. And there they have a lot of culture, a lot of gastronomic abilities, skills with this tasting, and they know a lot about wines. And here we have a lot of vineyards, but people don't take care about it because they have every day surrounded. For example, here we live in Vilafranca, and if you go through the highway to Barcelona, you cross a lot of vineyards, and you have it all around you, but you don't take care about it. So usually when you have something, you don't take care, and when you don't have it, you want to know. So perhaps it's this the reason that the Nordic countries know a lot of culture about wines.
Yeah, definitely. How much is your cellar's most expensive bottle of wine?
This is a red wine that's called Dominio Cousinet, that the vintage is 1996. I wasn't here, my sister-in-law as well, and it was made by my father-in-law. And it's wonderful, amazing, very complex. It's incredible wine, and till now it's alive. So it's incredible wine with this age. It's with a lot of body, a lot of acidity, and we repeated this, but not this stage. So this vintage is around 600 euros, and the rest vintages that we have to taste or to sell are around 300 euros. Are the vintages 1998, 2003, 2005, 2008, and 2013, I think now.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Which of your wines of the cellar is actually giving you most satisfaction? Because obviously the most expensive wines can give you satisfaction, but which other wines are giving you that type of satisfaction?
Perhaps the micro cuvée range, that are these wines that are single wines or little productions of single vineyard, and sometimes monovarietal with only a variety of grape, are the best well-known wines that Pare Balta has. But of course, the origin range, the basic or the most popular wines like cava, like Brut in Canada, that's very popular, and then the Grenache, the Xarel·lo, Calcari, that's a Xarel·lo, that's typical Xarel·lo from Penedès, that represents the personality of the area. These kind of wines are the most recognized and with a lot of satisfaction that we have.
Mm. Do you believe in the perfect variety?
I think no, because the perfection doesn't exist anywhere. You always want to do the best. You always want to achieve or enhance more steps every harvest. I want to do more things better than the other harvest, with new techniques, with new blends or new plots that I have now. For example, with Sumol, with Malvasia, with these new varieties that we have, every year we want to do the best, but we don't have a limit in this kind of world of the wine, because always you can do something more. So we don't have a roof in our sailing limit. So it's the best thing that and the thing that makes you to have challenges every year. So it's fantastic.
What's your opinion of wine critics and scores?
There must be there. all of the guides, the critics, the judgments, the shows, the wine shows. It's important that we have, because always you want a reference when you travel. You want a guide for know the best corners of a city, or when you want to know something, you need a reference. You go to Google and you search something. So with wine, we need these guides. We need these scores, but I'm not. My opinion, I'm not working for them. I'm working for having the best wine and having happy my wine lovers, my friends and my customers. And if then I have good scores in a guide, I'm very happy. It's fantastic. But it's not the most important for me.
Mm-hmm. Let's get down to some wine, and let's have a look at you as a consumer. What do you prefer, white, rosé, or red?
I love all, but depending on the moment of life. For example, when I studied at the beginning 20 years ago, I loved a lot the red wines that had a lot of wood, a lot of impact of the skins, and a lot of polyphenols, very, very dark, intense, hard tannins. They were the best. And now, I don't like it. I prefer white wines and with different vinifications, different achievements that you can do with blends. Perhaps sometimes are blends, but if not, with new white varieties. I'm now in love with whites.
White. So whites, still or sparkling?
Still, but of course I make sparklings here. The cava is the appellation of a sparkling, the traditional method. But of course, still wine, because I like the character of this variety. With a sparkling, you can achieve it as well. But it's important to have all, and of course, if I have a sparkling, it's the best wine for pairing. Mm-hmm. So when you have a difficult pairing, take a sparkling.
Go with sparkling. And regarding sparkling, obviously the world knows champagne. Would you say champagne or another style of sparkling wine?
I like champagne, but I'm discovering a lot of things, and I am studying at this moment diploma WCT, and champagnes are very good. Sometimes for me are boring. Perhaps someone don't understand this, but I prefer to discover more things and to taste other traditional methods in other corners of the world of wine, and of course in other methods like ancestral method, prosecco as well. And you have a lot of sparklings around the world that are very, very good and nice to discover. Not only fixed in champagne, that's of course a lot of very good champagnes I have tasted, but I prefer to discover more things.
You said before that cava or sparkling wines are good for parents. Have you ever gone absolutely crazy and paired white wine with meat and red wines with fish? I would say crazy because people nowadays, the traditional pairings are the opposite. But what do you think?
The difficult pairings are very, very interesting, and I love a lot, because when you are in a restaurant with a group of people making a pairing, and you have artichokes, for example, or asparagus, wow, it's very, very difficult to pair. But with sparklings, you have a lot of interesting pairings, and with Gran Reservas, with a lot of months of aging, and with these thin bubbles, this elegant texture, it's fantastic, the sparklings, for these difficult and tough pairings that have a challenge for a winemaker.
Definitely. Have you ever... No, we're humans. We know we are humans. Have you ever had too many glasses or bottles of wine? And what was the remedy for the hangover?
Of course, once I have it, but I think it's better to prevent than to have the remedy. It's the same like in agriculture, in organic agriculture and biodynamic agriculture. We need to prevent before than going then when you have the damage or the problem, going to have the solve the disaster. So it's preferable to have prevention. So with wine in moderation, of course, always I say that it's very important to have culture, to have gastronomy knowledge. I teach with young people that's coming here with families, and sometimes schools that are here with visits, and my sons, of course. I want to teach them, to explain that the wine is something that's usual in the diet, in the Mediterranean diet, and it's a culture and gastronomic thing that we need to know. We need to learn how to drink, and it's something that maybe in the future in the schools we need to teach, because we need to grow citizens, to grow young people that have good decisions when they eat and they drink. So it's important to prevent these hangovers, and the best thing is to eat before. If you know that's a party, that's a lot of wine, or a wine tasting that's with 20 or 30 bottles of wine, and you drink more than you want, it's preferable to eat something before, and then you have here a pillow in your stomach.
There are a lot of wine or non-alcoholic drinkers out there. Or how would you explain to them what they're actually missing out on? What are they losing if they do not try your wines?
Yes, there are people. I have friends that they say, I don't like wine, and I say, perhaps it's not the word I don't like. Perhaps you like it, but you don't know, because you had in the past bad experience, perhaps. And sometimes it's this. They had a bad experience with bad wine, or a bad moment, or a season that his body wasn't appropriate to taste wine. And if we explain this, then we observe this person and the wines that perhaps he or she likes, and you do an initiation tasting, becoming from 0 to up. Perhaps I have friends that they change this perception, and they lose. If they don't drink it, they lose a lot of culture, a lot of gastronomy. That with pairing with food, it's incredible to see the differences with wine or without. And what is behind this bottle, this effort that we do in the agriculture, in the winemaking, and the sensations and the emotions that the people receive when you drink a wine. You have a history there behind the bottle, and you have a lot of emotions that you perceive when you taste. So it's this.
There's so much more to wine. It's just not alcohol. It's just not liquid. There's a lot behind it. We love imagining things here at Wine Soundtrack. we're great at imagining things. And imagine now we're in the middle of the vineyard, right at the property, some aliens land right in front of our cars. And what wine from the cellar would you offer them?
Perhaps I will offer them a special wine for me that's called Radix. It's made with Syrah variety, red grape, and it's made as a rosé wine, but it's a special rosé to fall in love with it, because it's intense in aromas, intense in color. Not these rosés that now are trendy, that are pale rosé. No, this is a red wine, a very ruby wine, and because it's with a lot of fruit in the nose, to understand a region, to understand a wine, to understand a winery, and with this, I think they will be the first wine lovers for Pare Balta from out of the space.
Brilliant. Each vintage obviously changes. There's a lot out there that changes. Are there more things that actually repeat themselves, or the opposite?
No, every vintage is different because of problems with weather. Or not, because sometimes you are. It's incredible that you have a good vintage with the necessary rainfall, the necessary hours of sun, and all is fantastic. That's only one or twice in 20 years that I'm here, no? But it's incredible when you have a vintage like this. But always you have something that makes the difference to other harvests. So every year it's different. Every year you have different rainfall, different damages, perhaps with a spring frost, with varieties that don't ripen as you want, or you need to make decisions in last minute to make different options to make this wine that you wanted to. But well, always is a challenge, and it's the richness of this world of wine that I love a lot, that for this reason I'm involved all the time, and now with a lot of studies that I'm very very happy to do it, because always you learn more.
Do you have any good luck rituals for the harvest when it's about to start?
No. No, because if not, you will say that I'm a witch. But I love to make some remedies with herbs, with plants, with for example, in biodynamics we make some homeopathic ways to make healthier our vineyards. And by myself, it's an energetic therapy that's called Ho'oponopono. That's personal, it's only for you. But if you are fine with you, if you are with your introspective sensation, you are very, very comfortable, you have good vibes, positive vibes that you transmit to others that are around to you. So it's something that's fantastic for you, and then for going better in the winery. It's not for going to the vineyard and make a dance for having more rainfall. No, it's not this. But perhaps in the future.
I couldn't imagine you doing that.
No. But no.
Right. Do you capture any signs? Because obviously the DOs or the appellations, they say that this has been a good vintage, a very good vintage, or an excellent vintage. Do you capture any signs that actually predict the outcome of the actual harvest?
It's difficult because you are observing the winter, that for example this year it's very, very dry, then the spring, if you have water or not, and then all change in a week when you are in the middle of harvest, like this year that we started with severe drought, and then came the rainfall every day, every afternoon, every morning. We had a little rainfall, and then we achieved the double amount of liters that we had all the year. So it's unpredictable. The harvest and the weather forecast is something that it's possible to know.
It is what it is. Like I've heard of, I don't know many, but I have heard of producers walking up and down in their cellar, actually speaking to their barrels. Do you do that?
No, but it can be, but no. I always think in my wines that are from the team, of course, not only from me, but as my babies. They are my babies, and I teach them to go around the world to show our energy, our passion with vineyards, our passion with the winemaking. And when you have it in your table, in your glass, I'm very, very happy if you call me or if you text me or in the Instagram or wherever you want, say me, Marta, I'm with your wine. I'm very, very happy to drink it, and it's fantastic. And then I think with them, wow, thank you very much, Marta Balta or Isenda that we have here now. Thank you for being a good boy or good girl in this table, and to have amazing time to these people that are our fans. And this is the passion that I want to show to the customers with our own lovers in the table.
Yeah, the wines actually behave themselves. They're good boys and girls. Some people, I always love referring to Harry Potter, that there's a witch that she actually reads tea leaves in the bottom of the cups. And I know that obviously you don't read tea leaves, but you do something which is called crystallizations. Could you explain a little bit?
Yes, of course. Sensible crystallizations is a technique to measure the vital energy. That's the goal, the aim, the objective that we want to achieve in the wine. But in all of the vegetables, of course, in the agriculture, if you use the biodynamic agriculture. Biodynamic agriculture means to give life to the soil, to give life to the plant, and this vibration, this vitality, as well into the fruit. In this case, we have this transformation of the grape, that's the wine, and of course this vitality is there, this energy, this vital energy is there in the wine. And you can analyze this wine, the grape if you want, the leaf of the vineyard if you want, or an apple if you have a garden. And then with this sample is mixed with water, that the water will make the vibration. It's the part of this mix that make the vibration of this energy. And then we put a salt of copper that makes the draw of this solution that with heat it evaporates the water, and you obtain a draw in this plaque of glass that it's a Petri plaque that you use like in a laboratory to make this analyze, and then you need to observe the harmony in this draw, that you can observe a high harmony or low harmony. Depending on the quantity of this vitality that you obtain with this agriculture, you can see this vital energy. So this is my the way to analyze.
It's not you're not reading the tea leaves, no. But more or less, it's there, right?
The same.
So when you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Yes. I wanted to be a hairdresser because I loved to have the hair and make something with your hair. And with my cousin, we wanted to make hairdressers in our house. Then, when I grew up, I wanted to become a woman forecast. But when I knew that I need to study physics, it was when I decided to go to the chemics.
Right.
So chemistry.
And then.
So for this reason, I studied pharmacist, and I worked as a pharmacist.
When you're not working, how do you spend your free time?
Of course, with wine, it's something that you have in the blood. And when we travel, because it's something that I love a lot to discover new regions, new countries, we look for an area there in this country that make wines or have cellars or wine bars to taste the wines that are made in this region. But of course, we like to go to ski. We like a lot to discover restaurants. The gastronomy is something that I love a lot. For these things, I think in the future I will have some problems with the stomach, but well, I like a lot to eat good food and to have pairings with the food and wines or drinks that are typical in the region. So this is the things that I love to do more.
Good. So apart from skiing, do you practice any other sports?
Yes, now I'm doing Pilates. That's something that gives balance to the body, and with my age now, it's...
You're not that old.
No, but sometimes you feel something in your knees, in your ankles that are not good, so it's better to do this balanced exercise that's like Pilates. That's something good.
Okay, but you, honestly, you're not that old. Right. Who's your favourite singer or group?
My favorite singer, I remember a lot the Boss, Bruce Springsteen. Then my first disc was Phil Collins and Elton John. And they are the first singers that I love a lot.
Good. What's your favourite film dedicated to the world of wine?
Yes. Seasides, in Spanish is Entre Copas. And then the sommelier.
Sideways.
Sideways. Entre Copas. And then the sommelier, because Sideways gives the view of discovering the wine, and then a little bit of romantics there. And the sommelier, the difficulties that you have, because this world of wine is elitist when you want to study this, and the difficulties that you have when you want to do something, when you have a challenge, but if you have a hard job, and then you want a lot, you can achieve it. So it's a film that I love a lot.
Referring back to the romance that you referred to in Sideways, for a really romantic evening, which wine would you order?
Yes, something red, so a red wine, but with light body, with a lot of aromas, because I think the smell is the best sensor that we have. So for this moment that's emotional, better a red flavored aromatic wine.
Do you support any sports teams or sports people? Because obviously it's not all sports teams. And if you do, if they were to win a competition, what bottle of wine would you give them? Yes,
I'm in love with Barça, Football Club Barcelona. That's football players. And if they win something, I will give them Marta de Balta, for example. Mm-hmm. That's my wine that I have in my soul.
It's the wine we have here on the table as well.
Yes. It's a Syrah with hand harvest and handmade in open barrels, and it's very, very elegant, very fruity. And for me, it's a wine to discover and to relax and then to share. So for a team that win an award, it's fantastic.
And also a limited edition, no? Because I can see here is like 1,976 bottles made of the 2017 vintage. So it's quite niche market.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. It's a nice wine that it has my name, so it's in my honor, and it's fantastic. It's the best.
Brilliant. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
It was the grandfather that I'm very proud to meet him. since the age of 80 till 93 that he passed away. And he said to me, Marta, be yourself. Be the most honest and the most humble that you can. And it is that you will transmit to the others. So that you give is what that you receive. So be yourself. Mm-hmm. And you have the half work done. Mm-hmm. So it's something that was incredible. And always he was thinking in the vineyards, thinking in the wines, thinking in the family, and the experience that he had and the moments that I shared with him were like gold. And these advices that he told me were fantastic to go through the life. That's fantastic to live, to go with wines and to transmit the personality of your family and your vineyards and all that you have with the wine. So here it's something about me in these wines that I want to transmit.
Mm-hmm. What piece of advice would you give to other people or wine lovers?
I think the same, because it's so nice to be yourself. It's so nice to transmit your good vibes, to have all the life in positive, not with being angry, upset, and negative way. If you are negative, you receive negative things. So the tip, the advice is be yourself, be with good vibrations, and if you are happy with you, that's the thing, being happy with you, love yourself. If you have this, you can transmit to others this lovely moment that you have. That's all the time the same, that you must be all the time loving yourself. And then you can love the others and they can love you. So this word that perhaps it seems rare, that love, it's the thing that we need more to share and to have.
Nice. What's the proudest achievement that you've ever done in the workplace?
Perhaps to have the wine lovers, our fans, the customers, all the time being with happy moments with our wines, with these new blends that, of course, my father-in-law made the wines that were traditional in these moments in the 70s, in the 80s, but then in the 90s and 2000 we changed, the third generation changed a lot of things. So it's nice to see this evolution in the people here that come to a visit to learn, to taste, and these things that every year you improve in new customers, in new fans, in new people that are watching you in Instagram profile, in posts like now with Wine Soundtrack. That it's fantastic to have new people that want to taste your wines. This is
good. Complete the sentence. A table without wine is like?
It's like pasta, macaroni, for example, without sauce. It's something that's heavy.
With no chicha.
Dry.
Dry. Brilliant. Now we're going back to the imagination stage, which is imagine there's a VIP photo, or VIP is photographed by paparazzi in a restaurant, and on the table there, in all its glory, is one of your bottles. Which famous person would you like to have drinking that wine?
I'm thinking related to Barça Football Club. Pep Guardiola, the coach when it was the dream team. That because now we are in the bad moments, this moment with Barça, but in these glory moments, Pep Guardiola is my I'm a groupie of him.
You're a fan.
My fan. No, I'm a fan. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I will be very, very happy. But if not, that doesn't matter. No celebrities. If someone share a photograph with my wine and share to the Instagram or other social media, I'm very, very happy, and it's fantastic to see people enjoying your wine. So it's fantastic.
Good. It doesn't have to be a paparazzi or a VIP. What type of wines do you think will be drunk in 2300?
I don't like, because last day I watched to the Instagram TV a wine that you can do it in your house with some chemic powdery. And I don't know, something that was very strange for me.
Like powder.
That you have, you have a lot of the stage 1, stage 2, all the steps to do a wine, but all with chemics. It was very, very awful.
It was
I
a bit freaky.
So I don't know, but I hope the climate doesn't change too much, or I hope it isn't the earth burnt, and perhaps only in Himalaya mountains or Alps mountains some people have the last vineyards, but I cross fingers that we will have the wines that like now.
Do you think we'll still be drinking wine in 2000 years time?
I don't know. Perhaps comes another virus, COVID-23. But I hope that doesn't occur. It won't occur. But I don't know.
We will see.
It's difficult.
2000 years is a long, long time away. Anyway, we're coming to the end now. Name 3 wines that you would take with you onto a desert island or outer space.
Regarding to the difficulties that I can have it there, the 3, 5 or 10 days that I can survive, I think to have different wines, so sparkling, white or red, or perhaps a rosé, why not? But if not, thinking that I need energy, perhaps a desert wine, a sweet wine.
A sweet wine or a dessert wine for a desert island.
Yes.
Brilliant.
To have energy.
Exactly.
With sugar.
Yeah. Instead of like an energy bar, we'll just take a sweet wine.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant.
To resist.
Exactly. What winemaking area in the world would you still like to explore?
Perhaps thinking of now with the mountains that I said, in Himalaya or Alps, perhaps in Switzerland and the North Italy, Trento, Alto Adige. That's somewhere that I think it's very difficult to work and to explore this area. I think it's something that if I have the opportunity, it's something that I want to do.
Yeah. Right, we've not finished, not yet, right? We love, as we've already said, we love imagining things, but we also love playing little games. So now is the time for a little game we're going to play. I'm going to pick some different wine varieties, some local varieties, so people can get to know them. And I want you to tell me a type of song, or a song, or a type of music. So let's go with number 1. I'm going to go with Xarel·lo.
Xarel·lo, fantastic. Our iconic variety here in Penedès region. That's a variety that's not very powerful. It's wine with personality. So perhaps jazz. Jazz, it's good music to pair with Xarel·lo. That's the same, that you can enjoy a lot, but it's not very powerful. So.
Brilliant. Grenache. What would you pair with Grenache? What song?
With Grenache, that's fantastic here as well. Another iconic variety in Penedès region. Rock and roll. Rock and roll that you have a lot of fruit with a good body. So rock and roll, that's fantastic.
Fantastic. And the last one, Sumoll, probably not well known, but it is it's growing here. Explain a little bit about Sumoll and what type of music would you pair with it?
So as a red grape, Sumoll was here in the past. Now it's another time cultivate here. And as enjoyable wine and new wine and with a lot of new things always. Pop, the music of pop always is this, new things, new musics that are always in trending topics, so
brilliant.
Pop.
Brilliant. Marta, thank you ever so much for joining us today on Wine Soundtrack. Just before we finish, would you like to remind us where people can actually find your wines, where they can visit the tasting room and even your website?
Visit us in the website, that's www.paresbalta.com. There you have the option to pay a visit, to have an appointment. And then with the wine shop, you can buy wines, and we give you to your house, and it's very comfortable to do it. And here in the winery, we receive you every day of the week to learn about wine, about the culture of Penedès region and Spain, of course. And we visit the winery, the cava room, the barrel room, and then we finish with tasting of different wines. And you can have a lot of information of the area, a lot of fun with these wines that you can taste, and have a nice experience and a nice day. So I invite you to come, and I wait here for you.
Marta, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to a new episode of Wine Soundtrack International. For details and updates, visit our website, winesoundtrack.com.